Hello and welcome to my channel. So for today's rock, the supplies you'll need is a rock base painted white, alcohol inks, 3 or 4 of your favorite colors, 91% alcohol, alcohol blending solution, glue, gold leaf flakes or sheets, and resin. All supplies will be linked in the description below. So to start off with, I'm using a rock that I made using a mold from the Happy Dotting Company. I think it's her multi-mold. I love this mold, and if you've followed the past couple of tutorials, I've been using rocks from that mold, and I think it's awesome. So I will have a link to this particular mold in the description below. So I'm starting off, I base painted my rock white, which is titanium white. And then I'm going over it with alcohol inks. It doesn't matter the brand, just whatever alcohol inks you have on hand. I'm using like a fuchsia, a turquoise, I think a blueberry, and then a purple. And then I use lime. I ended up not liking the lime when I did use it. There's the blueberry. And I really don't like the blueberry either. What I like about the alcohol inks is when the turquoise and the fuchsia, the pink, meet, when they blend together, they create that line and there's a blended effect. You see, when I use the blueberry, there is no blended effect when it meets the other alcohol inks. And that's not the look I'm going for. So I put that on there, but then I kind of stopped using it a little bit and went back to the turquoise and then tried lime, which I think that's the lime. I didn't like it very much. But you can just play with it, whatever colors you like, and you can kind of just try to figure out what blends well together and what effects you're looking for. And the look I was going for was a more textured look. So when you put alcohol inks down, they're immediately going to blend and soften. And I wanted a more textured look. Right now they're softened, but I'm going to go in and I'm going to start working the alcohol ink. And if you work it while it dries, it's going to create more of a visual texture, you wouldn't be able to feel it, the texture, but it gives you a visual texture. So you're going to see I'm just going to keep kind of playing with the inks. Now I am putting the inks in little condiment cups instead of directly on to my rock. I wanted more control, so I just used the condiment cups instead of just going directly onto the rock. And I'm just doing it in a random pattern, and this is the purple. And you're just going to keep going in just a random pattern. Just keep working the colors until you get the look you're looking for. So now I'm taking just straight alcohol. It's 91% alcohol. And now I'm just wetting my brush and then dabbing off a little bit of the residual alcohol. And I'm going to go in and work this pattern. So here is where I'm going to work on creating the visual texture, because I want it to look real dotted. I don't want it to have smooth, soft coloration. I want it to really look like it's pixelated. And I'm just going over all of this with the alcohol, and that's going to break up some of those dark lines and create that pattern. Especially if you work the alcohol ink as it dries, it will definitely help create that pattern. Now I'm taking the alcohol blending solution, and this is going to help blend some of those lines out. And you see it's also going to lighten some of the areas. The blending solution is definitely going to lighten it. And you can see I'm dragging some of the color off and removing it onto the paper towel. But this does soften your pattern a little bit. But I wanted to lighten some of these areas, but you can tell that it smooths out the visual texture that I wanted. So if you go too light, then you can always add more alcohol ink and darken it back up. I'm now drying it with a craft heat gun. You definitely want it to be dry before you do this next step, which is I am now misting alcohol straight onto the rock and then drying it immediately. That's going to help give it that pixelated look without creating a bunch of heavy lines within the rock. So I'm just kind of playing with some different techniques until I achieve the look that I was going for. So now that I've done that and my rock is completely dry, I'm going to take some Mod Podge and a round brush, and I'm going to create some lines follow some of the lines that separating the two colors. You're going to see it. I'm just going to follow some of those harsher, thicker lines separating the colors with the Mod Podge, and I'm putting it on pretty heavy. And then I'm going to take my gold leaf flakes and I'm going to glue that down to those lines. What I'm trying to do is kind of create some fissures that looks like that there's fissures within the rock, like gold fissures, I guess, in the rock. So this part can be a little fidgety. You just have to keep working this gold leaf. Sometimes it wants to stick to the brush and stick to everything else other than where you want it to, but so it can be a little fidgety, but it's definitely well worth the hassle of working with it. Because once you get this all complete, you now have a great background to put whatever you want, a flower or birds or a butterfly or whatever your little heart desires. This just makes a beautiful background. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to paint on top of this, but hopefully I come up with something that'll be in a future tutorial when I do decide. So anyway, once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.